Emile and his dad Francois are in a traffic jam. They're fighting because Emile didn't want to go and now they're late because of him. Emile gets tired of his dad's scolding and gets out of the car, so Francois goes after him. All of a sudden, they notice an ambulance shaking, and they hear something screaming from inside before the windows break. Francois hurries to hide with Emile. The guards rush to catch a strange creature, but it fights back and scares everyone with its screams. It pushes them away and runs off. Later, Emile and Francois visit the hospital. In the past 2 years, many people in the country have been turning into animal-like versions of themselves. They get angry easily. The authorities are trying hard to catch them and put them in special places where they get medicine to stay calm. Scientists study them to find a way to make them normal again. And many people are scared of the mutants and think they should be kept separate. Emile worries about seeing his mom because she accidentally scratched his face. When they go to Lana's room, Emile sees scratches on the walls and stays back. But Francois sits with Lana and talks to her. Emile doesn't think Lana can understand them, and after a few weeks, Emile, Francois, and their dog move to a new home near the forest. Emile starts going to school, and when the teacher introduces him, Nina asks many questions. Emile decides to tell a lie and says his mom passed away, and then he makes up a story about his car being from lightning. That night, a big storm hits the town. The power goes out, and Emile wakes up from the loud wind and lightning. He looks out the window and sees a weird creature peeking in. When Francois fixes the power, the creature disappears. The next day, they get a sudden call and hurry to the nearby lake. The police and firefighters have blocked off the area, and the ambulance was carrying mutants to a new center. Now, some of them are dead, and others ran away. The police stop Francois as he calls for his wife. Officer Julia tells him they haven't found Lana's body, so she might be in the forest. When they return home, Francois hangs some of their clothes on the trees outside, hoping Lana will smell them and come back. The next day, during gym class, the teacher tells them to play tug-of-war. Emile's whole team falls right away except for him. He's surprised to find tiny claws under his nails, realizing he's starting to change like the mutants. He looks at his back in the mirror and says it's changing shape too. His dog joins him in the tub to comfort him. Meanwhile, Francois goes to check the mail and meets Julia. She tells him they've stopped searching because the government said the military would handle it. She keeps throwing food at Julia while she chases her, but Julia, being a trained officer, isn't stopped by it. She jumps on the mutant to catch her. Meanwhile, Francois finds another scared mutant under a grocery display but chooses not to tell the police. The ambulance was carrying mutants, some of whom died and some escaped. The police stopped Francois, thinking his wife might be lost in the forest. They spent the night in the car, and in the morning, Emile noticed his nails changing again. His dog ran off and Emile followed, finding a child who looked like a chameleon up a tree. Suddenly, the bird-like person they saw before attacked Emile, making him bleed, but stopped when he realized Emile was also a mutant. Francois took Emile to the hospital, but Emile was scared of being discovered. The police nearby were told that a mutant attacked some horses, so Francois asked for help. Back home, Emile removed some stitches himself. Later in class, he saw Nina wearing a necklace with a feather like the one he threw up, making him scared. Emile got frustrated and shouted at them to be quiet. After class, he had trouble riding his bike due to changes in his body. At home, he found a dead bird in the fridge left by Nina to feed mutants. Later, he caught a fish in the lake with his hands seen by a neighbor. In the evening, he struggled to ride his bike and left it in the forest, planning to say it was stolen. Meanwhile, at the bar where Francois works, he found out the owner made anti-mutant shirts, which made him uncomfortable. While taking out the trash, a mutant grabbed Francois, causing chaos. Later, Emile fakes losing a tooth at school. In the afternoon, he hangs out with Fix, who's trying to learn to fly but keeps falling into the water. When Fix takes a break, Emile notices the messed up surgery doctors did to remove his growing beak. In the evening, Julia helps Francois search for Lana in the forest while dodging police cars. They don't find Lana, but find Emile's bike, which surprises Francois. Back home, Francois finds the sink blocked with hair and claws in the pipe, realizing Emile is changing too. When Emile returns, Francois shows him the evidence, but Emile denies it. Francois locks the house, refusing to let Emile in until he confesses, so Emile tries to run away. Worried, Francois chases Emile and hugs him tightly when he catches him, having a breakdown. Next morning, Emile eats without a fork, but Francois is understanding. He gives Emile Lana's medicine to help control his impulses at school. Francois checks Emile's mouth and sees the fangs are hidden for now. Finally, Francois shows Emile how to use a cream to remove hair from his body. Later, Emile talks to Nina on the phone while walking outside. He asks Nina to yell, and he's happy to hear her voice from far away. The next day, Emile visits Fix and learns that Fix can only make bird sounds now. After hugging him, Fix climbs a tree and jumps, showing he can fly now and loves it. Later, Emile goes to the festival where Francois is working. Emile gets scared by a device that makes sounds only animals can hear. It hurts his ears, so Emile scratches the person's face in fear. Emile hides in a field while the person tells others, who get weapons and call the police. A dog finds Emile, but Emile scares it away with a bark. When the dog runs, two men start shooting in that direction, setting off an alarm. Emile runs really fast while a group of people chases him. Just when someone is about to shoot Emile, Fix flies in and pushes the person away, using his claws to protect Emile. Then, Fix flies into the forest so Emile can follow. A police car also follows them and Emile crosses a lake to escape, but the angry men shoot at them from across the water, hitting Fix sadly. Emile rushes to his friend's side and cries as Fix dies. Later, Francois and the hunters find Fix's body, but Emile is gone. The next day, Emile stays hidden in the forest, eating whatever fruit he can find. In the evening, he climbs a tree and howls along with the other nighttime animals. The next night, a storm comes, so Emile hides in a cave. He gets scared when a bear approaches him, but then he realizes it's his mother. They touch their foreheads to show their love, and then his mother Lana leaves, wanting Emile to follow. He does, and he finds many mutants living together peacefully, including the Chameleon Girl. But suddenly, they see flares in the sky, which means the army has found them. Emile and the other mutants try to run and hide, but the soldiers use a painful sound that makes them fall down and get caught. The only one who gets away is the Chameleon Girl, who hides by blending in with her surroundings. Later, at the police station, Francois helps Emile explain that he got lost in the forest because he was drunk. But when Emile tries to sign some papers, his hand shakes so much that he accidentally tears the paper. When the cop offers him another sheet, Emile gets angry and growls at him. To prevent the cop from making noise, Francois pushes him down and the cop gets knocked out. This lets Francois sign the papers himself quickly, and then he shows them to the receptionist and leaves with Emile without any problems. Later, they get into the car to leave town. The police start chasing them, but Francois promises Emile they won't go to any institution. He drives as fast as possible, even breaking through a fence to get to the forest. Then, Francois tells Emile to run, and Emile does, howling with happiness. So, which movie should we pick next? Do let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Until next time, see you all.